Muhammad Ali was watching TV when he saw Chicago burning after riots swept the city. Gangs were planning revenge for the summer. The police had given up. Everyone said it was too late to stop the violence. But Ali picked up the phone and made a call that would prevent what could have been the deadliest summer in Chicago history. It was early summer 1967. Chicago's West Side had burned in riots the previous summer. Now, with temperatures rising and tensions higher, everyone knew it would happen again, worse this time. Muhammad Ali had just been stripped of his title for refusing to fight in Vietnam. He faced 5 years in prison. His career was over. Most of America hated him. But in the black community, Ali was a hero. He'd stood up to the government and refused to back down. Now, watching Chicago prepare for violence, he decided to act. What happened next remained secret for decades. Only one reporter witnessed it, and he kept quiet about it for years out of respect for Ali's wishes. This is the story of how Muhammad Ali, at the lowest point of his career, walked into a room full of the most dangerous gang members in Chicago and convinced them not to burn their own city down. The call came to Ali from someone in Chicago's black community. The exact person has never been confirmed, but sources suggest it was a community organizer who knew both Ali and the gang leaders. The message was simple. The gangs were meeting to plan their strategy for the summer. They were angry, they were armed, and they were ready to fight back against a system that had oppressed them for too long. "They need to hear from you," the caller told Ali. "You're the only one they'll listen to." Ali didn't hesitate. Within hours, he was on a plane to Chicago. On April 28, 1967, a secret meeting was arranged at the Senate Theater in East Garfield Park. The gangs would be there. Ali would be there. Nobody else was supposed to know. But Rick Sohl, a young reporter, got an anonymous tip. Something big at 4 p.m. at the Senate Theater. He went not knowing what to expect. He chose a back row seat, pulled his jacket over his head, and pretended to sleep. Then they arrived. Dozens of young black men in gang colors. These weren't kids. These were hardened street fighters who'd seen more violence than most people see in a lifetime. 60 to 70 gang members filled the theater. Rival gangs sat in different sections, eyeing each other. One wrong word could explode into violence. Then the MC walked onto the stage. "Brothers," he said, and the room quieted. "We are in the presence of our champion, Muhammad Ali." The reaction was instantaneous and overwhelming. The old auditorium exploded with roaring, cheering, and joy. These hardened gang members, young men who'd learned never to show weakness, never to let their guard down, were screaming and applauding like children who had just met their hero.
Because that's exactly what Ali was to them. While the rest of America saw a draft dodger, a troublemaker, a loudmouth who had disrespected his country, these young men saw something different. They saw someone who looked like them, who came from circumstances like theirs, who had made it to the absolute top and then had the courage to throw it all away rather than compromise his beliefs. From his hiding place in the back, Sohl peeked out from under his jacket. There he was, Muhammad Ali, the greatest, standing alone on the stage with a microphone in his hand. No entourage, no cameras, no press, just Ali and 70 of Chicago's most dangerous young men. For these gang members, Sohl would later write, it must have been stunning to feel respected by the toughest prizefighter on the planet. Ali was there especially for them, not for publicity, not for photo ops, just for them. Ali let the cheering go on for a moment, soaking it in, giving them this moment of joy. Then he raised his hand, and the room fell silent. "Brothers," Ali began, his voice carrying easily through the old theater. "I know why you're angry. I know why you want to fight. The white man has beaten you down. The police have harassed you. The system has failed you. You've been disrespected, discriminated against, and treated like you don't matter. I know all of this because I've felt it too." The room was absolutely silent now. Every eye was fixed on Ali. "But I'm here to tell you something important. The white man is waiting for you to riot this summer. The police are waiting. The government is waiting. They want you to burn down your neighborhoods. They want you to destroy your own communities. You know why?" He paused for effect. "Because then they can point to you and say, 'See, they're animals, they're criminals. They deserve to be treated the way we treat them.' They want you to give them an excuse. They want you to play into their game." Ali's voice grew more intense. "And when you riot, when you burn buildings and break windows, who suffers? Not the white man, not the police, not the system. Your mothers suffer. Your sisters suffer. Your grandmothers who live in those buildings, they suffer. The police will shut down the ghetto. Nobody will get in or out. They will starve your mothers and your sisters. Don't play into their game. They are waiting to trap you." The gang members were listening. Some were nodding. Others looked skeptical, but they were listening. "I'm not telling you to be weak. I'm not telling you to accept injustice. I'm telling you to be smart. I'm telling you to fight, but fight the right way. Fight with your minds. Fight with your education. Fight by building up your community, not tearing it down." He walked to the edge of the stage, closer to them.
"Look at me," Ali said. "The government took my title. They took my ability to box. They're trying to send me to prison. They want to destroy me because I stood up for what I believe in. But you know what? They can't destroy me, because I'm not going to let them make me into what they want me to be. I'm not going to become the angry, violent black man they expect me to be." Ali's voice softened. "You want to know real strength? Real strength is looking at someone who has wronged you and choosing not to destroy yourself trying to destroy them. Real strength is protecting your community, not burning it down. Real strength is being smart enough to see the trap and refusing to walk into it." One of the gang members in the front row spoke up. "Easy for you to say, Ali. You rich, you famous. We got nothing." Ali nodded. "You're right. I have money. I have fame. But you know what else I have? I have the same skin color you have. And because of that, to half of America, I'm still just another N-word who doesn't know his place. Money and fame don't protect me from racism. They just make me a target in different ways." He pointed at the young man who had spoken. "But here's the difference between me and you right now. I'm choosing to use what I have to build, not to destroy. I'm choosing to fight the system by refusing to let it make me what it wants me to be. And that's the choice you have to make too." Another gang member stood up. "What you want us to do, Ali? Just sit around and let them keep beating us?" "No," Ali said firmly. "I want you to beat them at their own game. Graduate from school, start businesses, take care of your families, build your community so strong that they can't ignore you. Show them that you're not what they think you are. That's how you win. That's how you beat the system." He paused, then added, "And when they try to make you riot, when they try to provoke you, when they try to turn you into the monsters they believe you are, you refuse. You stay strong, you stay smart. You protect your people instead of giving them an excuse to destroy your people." For the next hour, Ali talked with them, not at them, with them. He answered their questions, he listened to their stories, he acknowledged their anger and their pain, but he kept coming back to the same message. Don't destroy yourselves to hurt someone else. Don't burn down your own neighborhood to send a message. Be smarter than the system expects you to be. At one point, Ali told him about his own anger, his own struggles with wanting to lash out violently at the injustice he'd faced. "You think I don't want to fight back?" Ali said. "You think when they called me N-word, when they spit on me, when they told me I wasn't allowed in restaurants or hotels, you think I didn't want to hit somebody? Of course I did. But hitting somebody would have been easy. Walking away, staying focused, becoming the heavyweight champion of the world, that was hard. That took real strength. He looked around the room. Every single one of you is a fighter. I can see it in your eyes. But the question is, what are you fighting for? Are you fighting to destroy, or are you fighting to build? As the meeting wound down, Ali made them a promise. This summer, I'm asking you to give peace a chance. I'm asking you to protect your community instead of burning it down. And if you do that, if you show the world that you're smarter and stronger than they think you are, I promise you I'll be back. I'll support you, I'll help however I can. But you have to make the choice. You have to decide what kind of men you want to be. When Ali finished, the applause was different from when he'd arrived. It wasn't the screaming excitement of seeing a celebrity. It was something deeper, respect, understanding, maybe even agreement.
Rick Saul, the reporter hiding in the back, watched it all with tears in his eyes. He would later write, "For 70 young men whose society had written off as criminals and thugs, Muhammad Ali treated them like they mattered, like they were important, like they had value. And in doing so, he may have saved countless lives." That summer of 1967, the predicted catastrophic riots in Chicago didn't happen. Oh, there was tension, there were incidents, but it wasn't the bloodbath everyone had feared. It wasn't the repeat of 1966's violence on an even larger scale. We'll never know for certain how much of that can be attributed to Ali's secret meeting. Maybe it was coincidence, maybe other factors were at play. But those who were in that room knew something had changed that day. Years later, when Ali was asked about the meeting, he downplayed his role. "I just talked to some young brothers about making smart choices," he said. "Nothing special." But to the people in that room and to the community that didn't burn that summer, it was everything. Rick Saul kept the story secret for years, respecting Ali's wish to do good without publicity. It wasn't until after Ali's death in 2016 that Saul finally wrote about what he had witnessed that day in 1967. In his article, Saul described the moment after the meeting ended when he caught up with Ali outside the theater. Ali saw him and immediately knew Saul had been inside. "You're a reporter," Ali said. It wasn't a question. Saul nodded. "Are you going to write about this?" Ali asked. Saul thought for a moment, then shook his head. "Not if you don't want me to." Ali smiled. "Good. This wasn't for the cameras. This was for them. Those young men needed to hear that someone believed in them. If this becomes a story, it becomes about me. And it's not about me. It's about them." Then Ali said something that Saul never forgot. "Service to others is the rent we pay for our time here on earth. This was just me paying my rent." Muhammad Ali was no hypocrite. He truly believed that fame and fortune came with responsibility. And on that day in 1967, when his own world was falling apart, when he'd lost his title, when he faced prison, when half the country hated him, he still showed up for 70 young men who needed to hear that someone believed they were more than what society said they were. The gang members who were in that room went on to live different lives. Some stayed in gangs, some went to prison, but others got out. They graduated, they started businesses. They became fathers who told their children about the day Muhammad Ali came to a broken-down theater and treated them like they mattered. One of those young men, interviewed decades later, said, "Ali told us we were better than our circumstances. He told us we had power, and that power came from making smart choices. I was 17 years old, and I'd never heard anyone talk to me like that before, like I had a future worth protecting." Today, there's no plaque at the old Senate Theater commemorating what happened there. The building has long since been demolished. Most people don't even know the meeting took place. But for the people who were there and for the community that didn't burn that summer, Muhammad Ali's secret act of service changed everything. Because sometimes heroism isn't about cameras and applause. Sometimes it's about showing up when nobody's watching. It's about speaking truth to people who need to hear it. It's about treating people with dignity when the world has told them they don't deserve it. Muhammad Ali taught us how to fight in the ring, but more importantly, he taught us how to fight for what's right, with intelligence, with dignity, and with an unshakable belief that every person deserves a chance to be better than their circumstances. If this story moved you, share it, because in a world that still struggles with violence, inequality, and hopelessness, we need reminders that one person's words, spoken with conviction and love, can stop a war before it starts. The greatest knockout Muhammad Ali ever achieved wasn't against Sonny Liston or George Foreman. It was when he knocked out the idea that violence was the only answer for 70 young men who had every reason to believe it was.